sports fans, ASMR Sports back in your business. Um, I've been wanting to do some sports content for a while. Haven't really found much to go through. I tell you what, I'm sort of, as I think about the sports content I'd want to do, I don't know, there's nothing I really want to break, for my own purposes in terms of modern stuff. So, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking I'll revert to, older stuff, which is also known as cheaper stuff, at least if you don't go back too far. Today we're going to go back to 1993. But I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of update, a little bit of preview, maybe what we've got coming. So this weekend, I think I'll be posting this later tonight, which is Sunday, August 18th. This weekend, I've spent a lot of time, and actually the prior week, selling a lot of stuff. I think I have like 8 or 10 packages of stuff that I've sold over the weekend. So I've been, listing that stuff, some of it on eBay, a lot of it I sell through DealerNet, which if you're not familiar with that, it's basically just a, website where sports car dealers can, and breakers too, basically, wholesale buyers can buy and sell unopened products amongst themselves. So, it's a nice kind of seamless way to do those. Well, I shouldn't say seamless because the way you do those transactions is totally, friggin' like 1996 all over again. But, it is a way to find, I should say, low fee transactions, because there's really no fees unless you're a seller and you've listed something for sale. Then you pay it's like a maybe 3% to 5%. I think it's maybe 5% fee on that. But if you're a buyer, you don't pay anything, so you can list stuff for a fairly minimal fee. But if you want to sell, instead of listing your stuff for sale, which you can do, you just go and see what people's buy prices are, and if you want to sell something to them when they've listed a buy price, then there's no fee to you to sell that. So that's actually very different. So a lot of times I'll look through that site and try to find things where the highest buy price for an item that I want to sell is more than I would make selling on eBay, taking into account the eBay fees. So generally the buy price on DealerNet is going to be lower than what you could get on eBay if you don't include the fees. But if you do include the fees, which of course are hefty, then the amount you will net after your sale is often higher on DealerNet. But it sort of favors more recent products that just came out, for which there's a lot of demand, and dealers are interested in paying relatively high prices for that stuff so they can have it in their shops or in their breaks. Older stuff, like if I want to go sell 2019 stuff, I think the premium is going to be higher on eBay just because collectors are a little bit more willing to dish out for that older stuff than dealers. But then you've got the fees to deal with, but sometimes eBay does get you a better deal. So anyways, I have been selling, and I'm really trying to sell whatever I can get a decent, anything for which I have actually, I don't know, I'm frankly willing to sell anything, because even stuff that I've got a heavy loss on still is valuable to sell, if it's just dead inventory. So anyways, yeah. I'm making deals, folks. So yeah, if you're interested in anything on my website and you're like a legit buyer, not just kind of a tire kicker, feel free to reach out and we can do some business together. But yeah, I want to show you guys this cool Star Trek box. This is a 50th anniversary Star Trek, so I think I looked this up. This is one of the only things that I acquired at the recent card show that I was at, other than those cases of junk baseball and non-sports wax. The guy next to me at the show, who had a table next to me, and it's actually somebody I've bought a ton of stuff from. It's funny that I got ended up next to this guy because he's probably the guy that I've bought the most from at card shows in the last, 5 years. Out of all the dealers, because he usually has some really interesting kind of oddball wax stuff. And I remember, here's a good old day story. I remember back probably in like 2018, might have been early 2019, but I feel like maybe it was 2018. He would bring all of these junk wax era boxes, 89 Donruss, 89 Fleer, bunch of non-sports stuff, and he would try to sell that stuff for like $5 to $10 a box, which back then was pretty much all you could get for that kind of stuff. And I was very interested in that stuff. I've always been about volume, which is kind of why I'm running out of space, but I've always liked, cheap, voluminous stuff. So I'd take a case of 88 Donruss over a hobby box of, 2019 Bowman, something like that. But anyways, one time this guy had all these boxes. He must have had, 100 plus boxes. Might have been like 200 boxes of stuff. And I said, tell me how much per box it would cost me if I bought everything. So he kind of, thought about it, added some numbers below, and he came back and it was like $2 a box. He said, if you buy everything, I'll give you $2 a box. There's, extra 30 boxes. So I said, okay, that's a deal. So that was one of the coolest buys I ever bought, and truth be told, at that time, if I had found other sellers who had junk wax, they probably would have given me the same deal if they'd been sitting on it as long as he had been sitting on it and not wanting to take it, with them everywhere they go to card shows. So I don't know if I think maybe a lot of dealers would say, well, okay, $5, a box, but he was very reasonable. So I bought all these boxes, and I remember I had to make like 3 trips to my car with like a dolly, where I had, I could put 3, 4, or 5, large cardboard boxes filled with junk wax on it. So anyways, that was one of my fun purchases, although that stuff, is really just sort of lingered around my collection. So that guy was next to me, and he had this on his table along with some other stuff, and I think he had like $130 on this. And I looked it up online, and there's really not. This is actually a pretty difficult to find product. There was maybe 1 or 2 of these that were either for sale or had sold recently. And if I recall, the comps were, some of them were like $150, $160. So I thought, okay, seems like a decent deal. So I ended up trading him a couple of baseball hobby boxes. I think they were, the hell were they? I think they were Bowman, Bowman Heritage. They were like $60 a piece, so 120. So what I had in the boxes, and this he had at 130. So I said, I'll just trade you those 2 for this if you're willing. He was gonna, just pay me cash. He said, yeah, absolutely. Picked this up in a purchase of a large collection. He just buys collections. That's what a lot of these guys do at card shows. They buy collections and they just piece them out and try to grind a profit out of there. So he didn't really know what to do with this. He's mainly a sports guy. So I love this stuff. I have a ton of Rittenhouse boxes at this point. Now, would I ever open this? I don't know. I think there's maybe 2 autographs in here. It might just be 1. But I recall when I looked up this box, it's got cards of all of the different Star Trek series. The original one, which that ship is from, and then Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and all that stuff. Everything that was out by 2016, I think, is fair game. If I recall, that's what's in here, so that's kind of cool. There's not a lot of products. Well, there are some, but not many Star Trek products where you get like all of the different Star Trek universes in the subject. So that was one thing I want to show you guys. It was pretty sweet. I was pretty happy to get that. And then another thing, I've got 2 of these little tins. These are Pokemon tins. So these are kind of like the smaller size tins. They have like little tiny tins that have 2 packs in them too, but these are kind of the next one up from that, but smaller than everything else that they offer. So it's got 4 packs in it, and according to the guy that I bought them from, 2 of the packs in here are Evolving Skies, and then the other 2 are probably like, I don't know, Brilliant Stars or something else, from the Sword and Shield era. These tins are from 2022. And there is a promo card in there as well. One of 1, 2, 3 different kinds of promo cards. So I bought these for $30 a piece. He had like 3 of them. And I asked if he would do $80 for all of them, and he said no, he thought 30 was kind of where, he sort of said that's kind of what the market price is, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of why I offered a little less to buy 3 of them. But yeah, truth be told, I looked these up, and I think you can get them for, just a touch over $30, but I think then you're paying shipping probably on top of that. So, if you count that in the price, then I think that these were a fairly good deal. But the reason I bought these is because I've never opened any Evolving Skies. There was another guy there who also had like these kind of mini tins that came in a 3-pack at Costco. And they also have Evolving Skies, and I looked those up, and, he was right at about kind of market price as well. So I was thinking about maybe offering him something, if he sold me like 9 of them, 9 of those tins, or 3 sets of 3. But I just saw these and said, oh, okay, let me just do those instead. So anyways, that will be a subject of a future video. For now, let's check these out. So I've had this box unopened in my collection for quite a number of years. Something I probably picked up at a card show, before the pandemic sometime, and just kind of sat around, and I had this at my table for sale. This is 93 Score Select, which I think, yeah, it's the first, so it's kind of a cool thing because, we all know Select products now. Primarily, we think of Select as a basketball-oriented product. There's also Select Football, and those are the most popular Select brands, but they also make Select Baseball. It's not licensed, so you get a lot of guys without insignias on their jerseys. But Select is such a huge brand, I think now. It's it's the holy trinity of, I think, sports cards. On the Panini side are Prism, Optic, and Select. And, Prism probably is king for a lot of people, and the other 2 kind of battle it out for second and third. But for me, I've always preferred Select. But it's it's kind of funny to think that Select, began as not just Select, but Score Select, like a premium Score product. And Score was a brand that came about in 1988. It was one of the very first brands. In fact, it was the very first brand that, sort of competed with that monopoly of, Donruss Topps Fleer that had existed since like 1981. So 81 through 87, really the only major brands. There were some weird things like, Sportflix, but really the only major brands from 1981 to 1987 were Topps, Donruss, Fleer. You had those three, and that was it. And we all thought that's the way it would be for the rest of our lives, but then along came Score, and they were the first new brand of cards in forever. And, by 1991, Topps, Fleer, I think maybe Donruss too, but they might have been a year behind those two, but everybody started coming out with their sort of premium products, not just the regular base Topps cards, but, Topps had Stadium Club, Fleer had this product called Ultra, and Score, not to be left behind, came out with this Score Select. I feel like they might have had something, gosh, I think they did have something before this as well. I feel like Pinnacle also was doing stuff in like 91, 92. But kind of cool that this product right here, this 93 Select Baseball, is the first ever Select product, and here we are in 2024. What is that, 31 years later, and they still make, the Select brand. There's not a lot of brands. There's been a ton of, sets with brands that have come out, during that time, and I would say probably 90+% of them have died. But Select is one of the, main things. I think Optic came about in like 2016. Gosh, that sounds like so much later than 1993. But I think that's right. I think it was 2016 that Optic came out. So this set, being from 1993, does have Derek Jeter rookie cards, which probably are, the only thing really worth anything, but I'm sure we'll see the usual assortment of Hall of Famers. JT Snow was a kind of flash in the pan there. Any sort of rookie prospect that came up, especially at first base, caught the attention of the hobby, as Kevin Moss did back in 1990. Of course, he was off the team like 3 months later. But Steve Olin. Eric Carlos was a big rookie back then. I'm trying to look at condition. These cards are, some of them definitely have dinged up corners. These packs are not the best for keeping things nice and snug. Todd Hundley was also a pretty good rookie back then. I have to say, these cards look pretty cool. I mean, by today's standards, they look probably pretty corny and cheesy, but by 1993 standards, I think this design actually was pretty cool. And I like that Select logo with the, kind of the gradient design on there. It looks pretty sweet, I have to say. So, loaded with rookies, this stuff is. Of course, everybody back in 1993 was looking for rookie. Just a ton of rookies. John Vanderwall. More rookies. Is this like a rookie product or what? Greg Colbert. So I think the Jeter card is one of these draft pick cards, so that's what we'll be looking for. Alright, finally a non-rookie. Rafael Belliard. Cards still well. I don't know if I'm not going to open many of these. I kind of want to hang on to them and make them available for sale. I like the idea of selling packs that have, Hall of Fame rookies in them, especially when it's a beloved Yankee, such as Derek Jeter, at least beloved by some. Scott Erickson was really good with the 12 Twins there for a few years. They're only going to give us one line of stats, but he was 41 and 24, 3.20 ERA career wise at that point, so pretty solid. He was on that 91 World Championship team as well. Mike Mussina, now a Hall of Famer. Bob Tewksbury, Carlos Baerga, Eric Anthony. Oh, and there he is, Greg Jeffries with the Royals. Wow. Must have been with them for like 5 minutes or something. I don't remember him being with the Royals, but I know he was with a ton of teams. Of course, the Mets is where he came up, and then Phillies. I don't know if he was with the Phillies before or after this, but I think maybe before. I feel like he was with a few other teams, probably hoping to get back to that ultra prospect potential that he had coming up back in 1988. Man, everybody was talking about Greg Jeffries back in 88. You know, all you wanted in your life was an 88 Donruss, Greg Jeffries rookie card, or an 88 Fleer. I can see those cards in my head clear as day. Oh, they were beauts. Those things sold for $8 all day long. You could walk up to any dealer and get, $5 at least trade. And, boxes of 88 Donruss were only like $15, $16, $17. So get a couple of those Jeffries, you can turn them into more Jeffries. Fantastic. I feel like the camera's having trouble focusing on the card, but keep an eye on it. Alright, so there's Barry Bonds. Wow. What are the odds you get these two back to back? I mean, talk about the same frickin' story, I mean, these guys were the face of the home run back in the early to late 90s. McGuire had the record, I think, for most home runs in a season, then Bonds came along and it's, beat the crap out of it, and then they both got kind of pretty much busted for PEDs, and then, well, getting some nice pulls now. Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer, first ballot. Greg Olson, Randy Tomlin, and a Hall of Famer, Carlton Fisk. Yeah, I really like these cards. I have to say, I've seen that Jeter before. In fact, I probably have one of those Jeter rookies somewhere, those draft picks, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen the base design of this set before, so it's pretty fun to see it. And again, it's funny because I was talking about how important Select is as a brand. Kind of cool to see its origins here in this 93 product. But yes, like Select has been my favorite brand, like for basketball, for a long time. I've always loved Select quite a bit more than anything else. I think they really harmed the brand when they. This is probably gonna be my last pack, just because I don't know. This is probably gonna be about a half an hour when we're done with this pack, but I really think they harmed the brand when they came out with like the retail Select, because before that it was hobby only. And, it was pretty high quality stuff, and, even base rookies were pretty cool. But then when they came out with retail Select, so, blaster boxes and so forth, they made the frickin' base cards, like, different than the base cards in the hobby, which they don't do for Optic, they don't do that for Prism, they don't do that for anything, really. But they did that for Select, so it really, I think, like, bothered a lot of people. I think the retail stuff, it's been poorly received. I have a mountain of 2020 Select basketball. That was the first year they came out with retail. And, I can appreciate the fact that them making the retail cards different than the hobby was really going to kill interest in that product, in the retail product especially, but I think in the brand generally. So, kind of a bummer there. I haven't really bought much Select since then. Alright, Jose Canseco, another guy who floated around the back end of his career to quite a number of teams. Here he is with the Rangers. be a ton of rookies. Royce Clayton, and we're looking really for the draft pick, so Manny Alexander, I don't think we're going to see anything in the rookies that's going to be very useful. Jeff Tackett, Pat Henkin. I also might use these packs. I've been thinking I really want to, if I can figure out something I think would be a good product, I want to do like a repack. I keep seeing in the YouTube world, like all of the top streamers of YouTube stuff like seem to have their own repack product where they put 5 or 6 different Pokemon booster packs. There's Patrick Mahomes, the second, his dad, Pat Mahomes, pitcher for the Twins. So yeah, like all of the Pokemon streamers seem to do repacks, and unfortunately we didn't get the Jeter. And there are baseball repacks out of there. There's like I think it's the Boombox is a very popular one. It's been around for a while. And there's quite a few others, but I just think it makes a lot of sense for me to do a repack because I have so much stuff I can put in them. And if I could just figure out something that I think is compelling. So the format that the Pokemon people seem to use for their repacks is they'll do like, let's say, 6 packs. So 5 packs are kind of the normal sort of baseline packs, with a relatively tight range of values for those packs, but some variety as to what they could be. Usually sort of more modern, current era or, relatively recent stuff. And then you get one kind of like mystery pack, and that could be one of 3 or 4 different levels. They sometimes color code them, and they'll do like whatever, like green, red, and gold. And a green is kind of a a pack that's worth more than the 5 basic ones you got in there, but not by a ton. The red is getting pretty sweet. It's like something that's maybe worth twice as much, 3 times as much as the packs that are, sort of the base packs in there. And then there's a gold tier, which is like, a really awesome pack that's like vintage, probably worth like $100, $200. And the repacks are generally probably like $50 to $100 a piece. So, yeah, I kind of like that model where you get like, 5 packs, 6 packs that are just sort of, kind of low end, nothing too crazy, but, some potential hits in there. And then you get one pack that, could be like really awesome, but at minimum will be a little bit better than the rest of the packs. There's Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. So I don't know, I've been thinking about that a lot and trying to think like, should I do like a vintage product with a lot of like 80s and 90s stuff in there, and that'd be cool because I have like some, so I have some older like graded packs. So like for the gold tier, I could put in I don't know, like a graded, whatever, 1979 Topps pack or something. That'd be kind of hard because those are like super big though. But and something like this could maybe be, the sort of green tier mystery pack. If the base packs are something like, I don't know, 89 Fleer, 89 Donruss, maybe like 93 Topps, stuff like that. That would be a pretty cheap repack product. Wouldn't be $50, but you get this a sense of what the sort of idea would be there. Basically it's like you get a little bit of baseline, and you get the potential for something really cool. It's like, I don't know, I've tried to do kind of like little bundles of packs, stacks of packs of wax I call them, but those I think are less compelling to people, just, when I've done those stacks of packs of wax, which I still think is a great name, everybody gets the same packs, the same exact packs. Well, not the same exact packs, but the same, whatever kind of packs as everybody else who gets that bundle, and there's no, kind of mystery aspect to it. I mean, the mystery is what you get in the packs, but there's no chance to get like a really cool pack that nobody, very few other people got. And I think that element of sort of like a chase card or a chase pack is just, I mean, that's what we're kind of all wired to want. That's why we open this stuff, because we're looking for that, Jeter, Tony Gwynn, Hall of Famer, Cecil Fielder. Wow, I haven't seen him in a while. Andy Van Slyke and Albert Bell. So, obviously I have a lot of modern stuff too. I could do that, and, trying to think what chase packs could be. Well, if it was like basketball, the chase packs would be like, 2018 stuff with Luka and Shea, Alexander, and all those great guys from the 2018 class. And football, kind of same thing, although I don't know if I really want to break, for example, football box worth $1,000 to find gold tier packs, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I would. I have a lot more stuff for basketball, so it'd be easier to do that without breaking into like crazy boxes. Anyways, curious to know if anybody has thoughts on that, if you'd be interested, in me sort of exploring it more on these videos and kind of laying out what I think like a good product would look like in more detail. I don't know, something I'm thinking about as I try to sell more and more stuff, because I'm running out of room. And yeah, I don't know, it's time to start getting rid of some stuff. Alright folks, that's what I got for today. Hope you're doing fantastic. We'll see y'all next time. You have a great one. Bye now.